This is Dr. Karen, and this is the Are They 18 Yet podcast, where I help parents raise independent, self-sufficient kids without sacrificing their own identity and sense of purpose. I'm here to share practical day-to-day solutions and actionable advice for supporting systemic changes so we can make this world a more inclusive and accepting place now and for future generations. Welcome to the Are They 18 Yet podcast. This is your host, Dr. Karen Dudek-Brannan. I wanted to take a few minutes to welcome you and share a little bit about who this podcast is for. This is for you if you are a parent who wants to help your kids grow up to be healthy, successful, well-adjusted people who lead productive lives and make an impact on the world. As a parent, you probably want to raise your kids to be independent and self-sufficient, and to be able to do that without sacrificing your own ambitions, sense of identity, and sanity. So that's why on this show, I will be publishing weekly episodes with guest interviews, so a combination of guest experts, parents, and other people who might be able to give you insights into how to support your kids. And I'll also be publishing solo episodes where I will share my own insights as a parent and an educator. I'm here to show you how we can all work together to make this world a more inclusive, accepting place by offering practical day-to-day solutions and actionable advice for supporting systemic changes now and for future generations. So let me take just a couple minutes and share a little bit about who I am and why I'm sharing this information with you. Again, my name is Dr. Karen Dudek-Brannan, and I started out my career as a speech-language pathologist in the school systems back in 2004. So my job was to provide services for kids who had issues with communication and learning. So I worked really closely with other educational professionals, like different teachers, administrators, other therapists, to help kids to perform in school. And I also worked really closely with families. So I always really enjoyed working with families and kids, but at the time I did not have children of my own. Fast forward to 2013 when I started dating my husband, who had a 3-year-old daughter named Olivia. And my husband's name is Joe. So at the time when we started dating, I remember just when I would work with parents in the school systems, a lot of times I brought my perspective as somebody who had a lot of training and experience working with kids in the schools. But a lot of times where I would get confused or wouldn't fully understand is when it came to understanding what happened at home. So understanding why parents sometimes didn't follow through with different things, or why it was hard for kids to get their homework done or get to school on time, all kinds of things that parents would share with me. So obviously, when I started dating Joe, he said, you know what, I've got a 3-year-old daughter. In a couple years when she starts school, she is going to be living with me most of the time during the week. And we're a package deal. So fast forward till the next year when we got married and I became a parent myself. And I got to be the one that helped get her on the bus every day, get her to school. So I gained a completely different perspective as a parent myself. I'll be 100% transparent with you. I had a lot of anxiety about being a parent. I wasn't sure if I wanted kids at all, and I was afraid of losing myself. At one point in time, I felt like my life for myself would be over once kids came into the picture. I saw my friends who were starting to have kids. A lot of them were really stressed out, and it seemed like they didn't have a lot of time for anything else that they liked to enjoy. And Personally, I have a lot of things that I like to enjoy. My career was very important to me. I'm a runner, so I like to participate in all kinds of different extracurricular activities. And I'm an introvert. I like to have my space and a loud house with kids and all kinds of other things. I just wasn't sure if it was for me. So I definitely had a lot of anxieties that I've had to work through myself. That's why on this show, I am going to share my own experiences and also through my guest experiences, show you how you can actually help your kids more by also helping yourself and how it's possible for you to have a life and really be able to explore your own ambitions and things that you enjoy in addition to being an amazing parent. Additionally, I know that we're all here, we want to help our own families, but as a person who has really been extremely fortunate and has a very privileged upbringing, I believe that a rising tide lifts all boats. So that's why I am not only going to share actionable advice for helping your own family, so helping on the micro level, but also the macro level. So I will also be digging into some bigger systemic things that you can do to make this world a more inclusive place for all kids. Now, before I wrap up this episode, I wanted to share a little bit about why I picked the name of this podcast. Why is it called Are They 18 Yet? Well, I was thinking about something that my siblings and I'm the oldest of four, I was thinking about something that we used to say that would really annoy my mom. We would be on these long road trips and we would say, are we there yet? When are we going to be there? And my mom would get kind of annoyed because we were being loud and we were in the car together for a really long time. And sometimes we would start to say it on purpose, jokingly, just to mess with her a little bit. And I thought about this and realized that when I became a parent myself, and on those days that were really challenging, I would say the same thing, but it was almost the parent version of what we used to say to my mom. So instead of, are we there yet? I used to say, how much longer until she's 18? Like, when is she going to be an adult? And because we're focused on helping your kids learn the skills that they need now to be successful adults, obviously we're looking forward to what's going to happen when your kids are 18 and beyond. And sometimes on those days, it might be tempting to want to just fast forward and know that everything's going to be okay, or fast forward to when your kids are out of the house and you have some time and freedom. So I wanted to share how we can look towards the future, but at the same time, really enjoy the time that we have now. So when you're tempted to say, are they 18 yet? Are we going to get through this? Well, I want to help you through that so that we can enjoy and have gratitude for the time that we have now, but at the same time, look forward to the future as well. Did you know that attention, emotional regulation, and problem solving are learnable skills that can be strengthened with practice? These skills all fall under the category of what's known as executive functioning. Kids who have strong executive functioning skills tend to easily follow directions without needing nagging, repetition, or bribes, have a good sense of time, and can complete daily routines in a reasonable amount of time, stay adaptable and problem solve, and manage their emotions when unexpected things happen, and overall have a healthy self-image. They're also able to do things like get homework turned in on time, keep their work organized, get their chores done, and pay attention to details and put forth a good effort when they're doing tasks that require sustained effort. Now, the first step in helping your kids to develop these executive functioning skills is understanding what they are in the first place, which is why I've created a free parent guide where I outline the 8 different executive functions. This guide will be extremely helpful for you if you want to help your kids improve follow through on homework or chores, if you want to help them manage their emotions, pay attention, and problem solve during their day to day routines, and if you want to have a better understanding of why they avoid or procrastinate when it comes to things that they have to do on a day to day basis. All you need to do to grab that guide is visit drkarendudek-brannan.com/parent guide. When you sign up for the guide, you'll also be added to my mailing list, so you'll be the first to know when podcast episodes air and when doors to my parent training program are open. Just go to drkarendudek-brannan.com/parent guide. If you have a child who struggles to stay focused and organized, or if you possibly struggle with those things yourself, then you know the whole debate about different options when it comes to addressing things like attention. And you may have been concerned about different side effects and just struggled with the decision about, all right, if focus and attention is an issue and it's something that I want to work on in myself or in my child, how do I do this in the best way so that I'm supporting them in a way that is healthy and safe for them and actually builds the skills that they need in order to be functioning adults one day? And honestly, to be functioning now and enjoy their childhood. This is obviously a really challenging debate. So that's why in my first episode, I talk about this and I talk about what you can do as a parent to support your child and help them become more focused. And you will be surprised because it's not what a lot of people think. There are a lot of misconceptions out there when it comes to things like focus and motivation. So, in the first few episodes coming up here, we are going to address the whole debate about how do I actually improve my child's attention. I'll also dive into motivation and talk about why kids aren't motivated to do things like homework. Obviously, homework is not a preferred task for many people, and that might seem kind of obvious. Of course, they don't like to do homework, but the culprit behind why they're not appearing to be motivated and why it's so hard to get them to do their work is often not what people think. And I'll also talk about why things like positive reinforcement do not work. And finally, I'm also going to be having a conversation with my husband who, as a child, worked through some issues with attention, and he's going to talk about his experience through grade school, junior high, and what happened when he went to college, and how he learned how to function as an adult and find ways to succeed and keep himself focused. So in the coming episodes, we're going to dive into all of those topics. I'm super excited to share with you. So make sure, if you haven't already, to subscribe to the Are They 18 Yet podcast so you'll be the first to know when these episodes air. This is Dr. Karen, your host, and I'm here to help you support your kids in becoming self-sufficient, independent, and well-adjusted, healthy people who lead fulfilling lives. Thank you so much for listening.